Hey, so I did yet another glaze fire the other day. So it's been a couple of days now. The kiln is down to 124 degrees. You will be just as surprised as me because I have not popped the lid at all yet, so we'll see. But I think I have like a ton of mugs in there. And a few other things, I think. So I think it's mostly mugs, so we'll see what they look like together. Okay. So I know I said mugs, but this first piece is not a mug, but it is pretty. Check that out. So this bowl was actually made out of slab, and then one of my favorite things to do is to throw a foot on the bottom of a slab formed bowl. So that is precious. And these are some luminary candle holders. So this is think. It is light flux with iron luster. So you get some really nice drippy combining, and then a couple more in blue. Have a little creamer pitcher. So this is the, I think it's honey flux with green tea. It's thundering outside. I don't know if you heard that. So this is actually made out of, you know what? I don't remember. I know the bottom is a slab, but I don't remember if I threw the top. Kind of looks like I did. All right, now we get into mugs. This one is a refire because it had a bare spot on the bottom, and that kind of all filled in, so that is good. I think we got it a little extra drippy on that second fire. It does actually look a little bit darker to me, but it's pretty. I think that's a sunshine on there, hence the yellow. Some hiking boots, blue texture. It's like an alligator texture. And then we have my little wine cups. A little too big to be espresso cups. So again, this is the light flux with iron luster. So it's white flux on the bottom and then iron luster on top. Super pretty, and you get little pink inside. And then I have some green wine cups. This color has gone over really well in my pottery shop. And this is the bottom to, it has like an acorn top that goes on it, and the bottom broke, so we had to make a new one. And I'm pretty sure I glazed it completely different than what the original was, but it should still go. I don't have the lid here, but hopefully they match. Okay, finally got my planter pot done. I've had a plant sitting inside of a pot that is way too small for it. So I made a new one, and it's been months. So finally got it in there. Some winter wood. See, now my camera's backwards, so you can't read that, but it says wander. I should turn this around. Pretty. Okay. Still not real happy with my green. But I do like those leaves on there. It's a very pretty impression. And this, I'm just loving this color. So I'm not sure what's happening here. It actually feels like a little bit of texture on there. So I think when I used my rib, it kind of bounced on the pot and made that texture. So it kind of made my glaze do some pretty cool things. Where this one doesn't have it. Some greens. This one seems to have a little bit of yellow inside of it instead of the pink. So there's a couple more of the little candle holders. These ones are smaller than the other ones, so like maybe a tea light in that one. And you could fit a little votive in this one. So that's a new texture roller that we printed on a 3D printer. And then I used the black stroke and coat called Tuxedo underneath my Sapphire Mist Blue. So I really like the way that breaks on that texture. That looks really cool right there. And then a very naturey one. So this is a slab formed mug. Again, I got that nice pink on the bottom. It's got like this, where is it? Little wrapping around and sealed together. It's a little bit wonky. It's got a little thumb spot. Wonky is not necessarily a bad thing. Super cool. This is my my reddish brown clay mixed with my white clay and just kind of marbled. And then just a clear glaze on top of it. It reminds me of this ice cream I ate when I was a kid that's called Fudge Royal. That's what it looked like. And these are they're being donated to an Empty Bowls program. So look at that cool swirl on the bottom. Very pretty. So these are soup bowls. This is a little dish for some dip or something. Cute, but not really how I wanted it to turn out. Alright, this was a refire, kind of. I tried to do something different with a sagar fire in an outdoor kiln, and it was literally an epic fail. But it doesn't get that hot, so I was able to re-glaze it. And this is winter wood with some flux. Not necessarily in that order. Actually, I think it is in that order. Winter wood and white flux. This is kind of yummy. Alright, these are night lights. So they are just this flat piece that we put some design into. This one has some trees. But then there's a night light that we attach to the back of it that just plugs into the wall, so you get the light shining from behind it. So we have that one. We have some leaves. Of course, Buffalo Bills. We're in Bill's country here. And another Buffalo Bill. Right, I'm going to start with this one. I had this for a long time. What I did was, when it was leather hard, I made these scratch marks in it with like a needle tool or something, and then I put blue underglaze on top of it, and then I used a trimming tool to kind of scrape back all the blue underglaze from the top, and it just left it down in those deeper scratch marks, and that came out super cool. I think it might also have, you know, I don't know. It might have Terra Sigillana on it, but I don't really know. That is super pretty. I love that. That might be mine. And then I had all these mugs where I colored some white clay with blue mason stain. I don't remember the actual color of blue, but and then I layered that. I did blue and a kind of a lighter green. So I layered them all together with my white clay. And I don't even know which one to show you first because they're all so pretty. This is probably the darkest one. So that had a lot of blue in it. The blue is pretty overpowering. But look at that marbling effect. Oh my god. And then it just has a clear glaze on top of it. Super, super pretty. So this one, a little bit dark too, but that has a lot more white in it. I think in the camera, I think it looks a little bit more blue than it really does in person. It's more like a teal to me. But yeah, super, Super awesome. Look at that one. It looks like a granite kitchen counter. So this one has a little bit more green in it. This one, you can see like that thin line of green right below the blue there. And up here too. Ooh, baby. So I have more mason stain colors too. I did some yellow and blue yesterday mixed with my white. We'll see what they turn out like. Alright, so here's 2 at a time. You can see how each one turns out very, very different. It all depends on how the colors are layered together, how much I wedge the clay. That one's got green, and then there's this little blue dot on the bottom and on the bottom there, but the rest of the mug is mostly just the green and white. That one's got a nice blend of all the colors. I like it. Oh, this one's really nice. Ooh, that is really nice. One more of those. This one has a lot of blue in it. Super pretty. This was a nice little dragonfly on there. This was a test color. I have Albany Brown Slip is the name of the glaze, and I have never ever liked it by itself. Like, it comes out just kind of like this rusty brown, and it's not super pretty. So I did light flux on top of that, and now I really like it. There's a mustache. Oh, not a mustache. Just a funky face dude. Snaggletooth. Alright, I have 2 more of these swirled blue mugs. These ones are actually larger. The other ones are pretty small. But I like a small cup of coffee, so yeah. Next, we have a hummingbird. Did a little mustache series. There we go. 2 more mustaches. This is like a handlebar mustache. This is a really pretty glaze. Like that. Some more crazy faces. He looks like he has a disease. Some more crazy faces. We sell a ton of these mugs, so we're trying to get a bunch more on the shelf. One, that's that cool texture again. But they always say that clay has a memory. So to me that means it should, if you distort the shape, it should go back to what its original shape was. I'm not sure what this memory thing is supposed to do, because that did not go back to round. Missed the face. And one more of that funky texture. So all in all, that was a very successful firing. Most pieces came out very nice. Especially these. Super pretty. Matches my sweater. Not really. Thanks for watching. There it is. This is my adventurine stone. Gem, whatever you want to call it, that sits on top of my kiln, and it acts as my kiln god and makes great things happen inside that kiln.